Whatever you do, make sure you visit ashkicking.com for your home fragrance, health, and beauty needs, quality products at a great price. Use this promo code DBN317 for 10% off of your order.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo! Hey. Yeah.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So we all know now it is only 3 days away from a big fight this weekend, Golovin versus Danny Jacobs. And Danny Jacobs, he brought up the topic of fear going into the ring against Gennady Golovin. And he said some very, very interesting things on the topic of fear. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and quote exactly what he had to say when he asked if he had any fear. Was he scared at all? Quote, "Who wouldn't be? This is the biggest challenge that you can have. And me saying I'm scared isn't a bad thing, because being a human and being an athlete, you have to have that fear to make you train harder or put yourself in a position to where you can overcome. That fear can get you through a lot. I'm not fearful of Triple G, the person or the fighter, but just what they made him out to be. I'm training according to that and what I see. So yeah, I'm training like I'm the most terrified guy in the world, and that's going to make me the most hungry. My reflexes are going to be on point. They say a scared fighter sometimes can be the most dangerous fighter out there. I'm looking forward to going in there and being scary," end quote. Spoken like a scholar in the sport of boxing. Very well put by Danny Jacobs. You know, you guys probably heard me say it a couple times on this channel. You have to have some of that fear. Matter of fact, Teddy Atlas, he would always say it on Friday Night Fights back in the day as well. You have to have some fear when you go in that ring, because that keeps you alert. That keeps you on your toes. That keeps you with your guard up at all times. Fear is not a flaw. It is an attribute. It is a weapon that you need to have. And quite frankly, even Golovin has fear. Now, he's a tough guy, so he won't admit that he goes in there with fear, but he has fear. Even watching the Kell Brook fight, when you see Golovin decide to freeze up and just block punches that are coming his way, as opposed to trying to exchange with Kell Brook at the same time, because you know when you're trying to counter punch, you're trying to throw a punch at the same time another person punches, you know there's a chance that person may beat you to the punch and end up catching you and knocking you out. So that's a little fear that Golovin has. Everyone has a little fear, from Golovin to Mayweather to Danny Jacobs. You have to go in there with a little fear. Now, when I say everyone has fear, I shouldn't say that. That's not necessarily true, because there are some fighters that go in there with the confidence thinking that no one can knock them out. They don't try to go in there and get hit on purpose. They try to avoid the punches, but they're not as cautious as they should be, and those are often the fighters that get knocked out. Those are often the fighters that get knocked out. Fighters that aren't scared enough, okay? So this is going to bring the best out of Danny Jacobs, I promise you. Because when Danny Jacobs knocked out Peter Quillin, that was a perfect example of beating someone with fear. Because when Danny Jacobs, when that first bell rang in the Peter Quillin fight, and I seen Danny Jacobs moving around the ring way more than he used to move around, I was like, wow, he really has a lot of respect for Peter Quillin's power. And then a minute later, the fight was over by a vicious right hand that Danny Jacobs threw against Peter Quillin. We're going to see the same type of fear displayed this Saturday against Gennady Golovin. Will it be enough? We'll have to see. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
Boxing